I want to play some sound here. It's sound from Brandon Staley. Before I play it, though, I want you to really listen, and then what comes to your mind. Seth Wickersham will join us, by the way, in 10 minutes. He's the author of It's Better to Be Feared, the new book out about Belichick and Brady and the Patriots and what built them up and what broke them apart. That in 10 minutes. First, here's Brandon Staley.
What I think that the running game does for a quarterback is it gives you some breathers. And you don't need a good running game to be a good play action team. But what you need the running game for is the physical element of the game. There's a physicality to the game that's real, right? If you're just a passing team, okay, there's a physical element to the game that the defense doesn't have to respect. And that's the truth, okay? Because the data will tell you don't need a run game to play pass. You don't need that. But what the running game does for you, it brings a physical dimension to the football game. And what the running game does that the passing game does not is the running game forces the defense to play blocks and to tackle. That happens on a run play. You must play blocks and you must tackle. In the passing game, those things don't have to happen, right? You don't have to play as many blocks, right? And you may not have to tackle based on incomplete or not. So what the running game does is it really challenges your physicality. And that's why I think the run game is important to a quarterback, is because it's going to allow him literally to have more space to operate when you do throw the football. Okay, it's not that you need the run game to throw it. It's just what it gives the rest of your skill players.
It's an interesting listen. When you hear it, what do you think? Dan Byer, what do you think when you heard that cut?
Great explanation on Brandon Staley, and way to talk about how physical football is a big part of the team. Very well put.
Have you been able to see, and again, I don't think Twitter attaboys are how you live your life, but have you seen the amount of Twitter attaboys, especially from offensive linemen out there?
Yes.
So what is the job of a head coach? You know, I've had lots of people, I listened to lots of people tell me that all these different reasons why Eric Bieniemy hasn't gotten a job. And I believe I'm the only one who's told you the reality based upon people he has actually interviewed with. Okay. It's more than just being about like, hey, I like that guy. That's part of it. You got to be likable. Got to want to play for you. Staley, of course, was a quarterback when he was in college. He started on the offensive side of the ball, moved to the defensive side of the ball. But there's a formula and a plan and a thought that goes into what he does, how he does it, and why he does it. And then he has the ability to articulate it, not just to us, but also to the team. And so because of that, look, he's a really, really bright guy who played football, been around football, coached at lower levels in the NFL, and understands how to read a room as well. Like, he knows who to give the game balls to. He knows who the leaders are. He knows when to give guys time off, when to push. But if you listen to what he's saying and how precise he's saying it, and the plan that is quite obviously in place, the people that he's empowered, the juxtaposition of that with a guy who, I've told you, like the Eric Bieniemy, college, I don't think that's going to happen because there's baggage from when he coached in college. The NFL is generally different. Okay, generally different. But he's had a lot of interviews. And people say, well, he's a bad interview. Like, no, he's not. Not a bad interview. People don't walk away going like, don't like that guy. They just don't walk away going like, well, this guy has a plan, not just for how he wants to play or how he wants to coach, but also how he wants to motivate different position groups. You listen to Brandon Staley talk, and you're like, God. I mean, he says things about Justin Herbert, but it's not just, hey, he's awesome. It's why he's awesome. It's not just that the offensive line, the run game is important, but why they're important. He tells you the why. which empowers his players, makes them like him more, makes them want to compete for him more. Makes all the sense in the world to me. What I hear is not just a great soundbite and explanation for why you always got to run the football, right? And he'll say, like, even you don't have to have a great running game for play action to work, but when you run the ball, it does bring physicality, makes the other team tackle, all those things that sometimes guys cut corners on. You can't cut corners on when you play the Chargers, the Rams, the Niners. All these teams run the football for a reason. But the juxtaposition of Brandon Staley with others and how they have presented themselves, it's obvious why some guys have gotten jobs and some guys have not. Let's get to Dan Byer and find out what else is going on. Dan, what do you got?
I'd even just add to that, I think that if we rewind to the offseason, I think that a lot of us felt that Brian Daboll, the Bills offensive coordinator, was going to be the guy with the Chargers. An offensive mind, Justin Herbert.
He went to the same high school as the GM.
Yeah. There you go.
Tom Telesco was a senior when Brian Daboll was a freshman in Buffalo, New York, growing up. And so what happened was Brandon Staley blew him away.
Yeah.
That's it. Blew him away. Just like he just blew so many people away with that soundbite about offensive line playing physicality. That's what he did when he interviewed with the Chargers.